Chiang Lim is the CEO of the Australian Childcare Alliance. Hello, Chiang.
G'day, how are you?
I'm terrific. Look, I'll kick you off with a text message from a listener who says, stop calling it childcare. It has to be called early learning across the board to elevate it from just what most people think is glorified babysitting. Early learning educators require qualifications and clearances to work in the sector. Chiang, what's early learning, what's childcare, and what's preschool?
Well, early learning is the educational component for children from 0 to up to 6 years old, and how it provides the educational development of a child and how it prepares a child and dovetails it with, hopefully, school when they go to kindergarten and so on. Preschool is fundamentally, was traditionally the year before school, but I think even governments now recognize the value of early childhood education and are already talking very vigorously about what investment could they make in preschool as early as 3 years old.
And Chiang, I mean, I am someone who has children in early education, and even I don't understand how the system works, how it's funded, and what the difference is between preschool and childcare. My children have been going somewhere since they were 2, and they're now going to school next year. How is the system structured?
Well, I too have got children. At one stage, I have three children, all in preschool, actually preschool too, yeah. And this will be my last year for my twin 5-year-olds to be in preschool. They go to school next year. But it is not uncommon for parents to not understand the early childhood education and care landscape and how it dovetails with school. And I think that was also a realization by the Commonwealth government, the coalition government, before when they were still in government, that they needed what's called preschool outcomes measures. Now, the fact that the then outgoing coalition government said they need to define what those preschool outcomes are, also ironically says to all parents, well, if the government hasn't defined what preschool outcomes are, then how can parents understand what the preschool outcomes are? Now, for early childhood educators, the preschool outcomes are actually quite diverse and well understood. The issue is which outcomes would the government want the early childhood education sector to focus on? This is now the new debate that's happening between Commonwealth and states.
Right. Okay. So there's yet again a federalism buck passing going on, but fundamentally, the question that a lot of people are asking themselves about the shutdown of the childcare sector tomorrow is, if conditions are so poor for people who work in this sector, why is it so expensive? Where's the money going?
Well, let me explain it this way, and I'll quote even the New South Wales Productivity Commissioner. So for, let's say, 80 preschool children in New South Wales, you need 4 degree qualified teachers, whereas the rest of the country can get away with probably 1.2 1.2, 1.6 early childhood degree qualified teachers.
Sorry, Chiang, is that because we have a higher teacher to student ratio requirement?
In New South Wales for teachers.
Right.
Now, when you then look at the quality outcomes based on the existing system of measuring quality under quality area 1, which is educational program and outcomes, and overall ratings, we cannot, in New South Wales, we cannot prove that having up to 4 degree qualified teachers produce better results under the existing system. And so the New South Wales Productivity Commissioner himself said, why are we doing this? Why are we not following the national standard? And why don't we have a fit for purpose regulatory framework? Now, Peter Ashestrand, the Productivity Commissioner in New South Wales, is absolutely correct. What a lot of educators are frustrated about is the operational burdens that are placed on them that actually do not produce a direct result for children. So why are we doing this? We are having these discussions for far too long. We need greater clarity, lesser burdens, less red tape from the system, so that we can get on with the job. I would say that's one of the most significant reasons why educators and service providers are giving up on early childhood, because they just had enough of the operational burdens.
Well, I hope they don't give up, and I hope there's a way that we can thread the needle so that there's both good treatment of staff and also affordable prices for families. Chiang, thank you for explaining it to us. It's good to speak with you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chiang. That's Chiang Lim, who's the CEO of the Australian Childcare Alliance in New South Wales.